Welcome to this video introducing the Reverend Jackie McNair and non-stipendiary minister, the Reverend Dr. Richard Wright. Jackie and Richard were appointed to this circuit at conference in Belfast just a few weeks ago. Jackie will be working primarily in Ballinhinch, while Richard's focus will be in the Donard Society. So Jackie and Richard would like to find out a bit about you both. Jackie, tell us something about yourself.
Well, it's good to be here, Tom. Thank you for this opportunity to just sit and have a chat. And I'm originally from Letterkenny over in County Donegal. I have to say originally because it's been quite some time since I actually lived there. I married Andrea, who's a Wicklow lady. And I lived in Dublin for about 10 years and moved across from there to Limerick, where I was chaplain in a secondary school in Limerick before giving all that up to move to Belfast and go to Edgehill. Family in Dublin, family in Wicklow, family in Donegal, so we're spread out. So I get to go visiting elderly relatives and sons and daughters and grandkids as well. So I know I don't look like I've got grandkids, but yes, I do have grandkids.
Thanks, Jackie. Richard, you tell us a bit about yourself, please.
Sure, thank you for this opportunity. I'm an East Belfast boy, born and bred, married to Jackie, and we have 3 kids who are living across the water in Scotland and England. I was brought up as a Methodist and have been worshipping in Seymour Street Methodist for nearly 35 years now, and that's been a wonderful blessing. But decided to take slightly early retirement from the medical profession to pursue this path at Edgehill and into ministry, and now at Donard.
Following on from that then, we'd like to hear about your journey into ministry and your call. Yeah. Starting with you, Jackie.
As I say, yeah, great question. And I think it's one of those questions I think that you will spend your life actually trying to figure out. For me, faith and God has always been part of my life. From a very young boy attending the Gospel Hall in Letterkenny, to going to investigate in different churches and investigating my way around and trying to search to find God. Going to college to study theology and studying biblical studies. So, delving into Greek and Hebrew. So for me, my journey's all been about trying to understand who God is and why God has taken the time to actually reach out to me and say, come on here, boy, I have a job for you to do. And then finding myself in Trinity Presbyterian and Methodist Church in Limerick, and sitting there and feeling a bit like John Wesley, I would say, where my heart was strangely warmed and I felt at home and I felt the Spirit had called me to be there, and it became real for me at that moment that was the call that God had laid upon my heart to actually go into ordained ministry and serve the people and serve God as best I possibly can as a disciple of Christ.
Thank you. And Richard?
Well, Tom, I was brought up as a Methodist. I used to go to Knock Methodist, and that's where I can first remember my faith developing. My parents were very encouraging, but it was really at my time in Seymour Street in Lisburn over the last number of years where initially I trained as a lay preacher, and I was worshipping as organist and choirmaster, that I had a lot of encouragement from various ministers and many people in the congregation who really brought home to me that God was speaking to me. Jackie, of course, my wife, was very encouraging also. I think there were 1 or 2 people that stick out in my mind as being really bringing that message from God. One of whom I think of in particular was the Reverend Edmund Mahoney, who on several occasions over the last few decades had encouraged me and spoken to me and made me think that really this was something that God wanted me to do.
Thank you. And going forward, Jackie, you're going to be working in Ballinhinch. What are you looking forward to in that area of ministry?
Well, first and foremost, I'm looking forward to getting to know the people and getting to know the place, getting to know the area. It's not an area I really know, so I'm really looking forward to doing that and to serving the people in Ballinage. I've always been very passionate about social justice and about pastoral care. So for me, they kind of lie fairly high up my sort of agenda in trying to serve people and to serve God. So I think for me, I'd be looking at ways in which we can maybe develop the social justice issues in the area, and how can we as a church actually have an impact upon that. But also I think the idea of pastoral care is something that lies very deeply and heavily on my heart. So ways in which I can serve the people of the church pastorally, be that pastoral leader, and try and find ways in which I can encourage others to actually take up that role and perhaps, achieve their potential as being disciples and being pastoral carers towards each other. So if I was being asked to answer that question, I suppose is I'd be looking at social justice and pastoral care as being fairly important to me.
And Richard, as you go to Donard, where do you see your focus in times ahead?
Tom, I think there's been tremendous work done already in bringing together the three former congregations of Downpatrick, Dundrum and Newcastle into this new creature that is Donard Methodist. So there's an exciting bit of development to be done and bedding in over the next year, ministering to those people. And as well as that, we are going to have an opportunity of repurposing and rebuilding literally part of the Newcastle old church building to make it into a very vibrant worship space, which will produce all sorts of opportunities for the future. I see Donard as being a place where people will come on a Sunday, perhaps from all around the circuit or further afield, to worship maybe on a Sunday evening, and then to speak into much of the community, many of whom only visit Newcastle over the summer. So there's a real opportunity for a slightly different kind of church that speaks particularly to those joining us in the summer months.
Thank you, Jackie and Richard, for being so open and for sharing your stories with us. We look forward to seeing more of you and your families on the Lagan Valley and South Down circuit, and pray that God will bless you in all that you do.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.